At 88, Jack Nicholson finally tells the truth about Robin Williams. Jack Nicholson was born John Joseph Nicholson on April 22, 1937 in Neptune City, New Jersey. From the very beginning, his life had weird things happen because he grew up thinking his grandma was his mom, and his real mom was actually his sister. This crazy secret didn't come out until he was much older. This early weird twist in his life was like something from a movie, and it showed how Jack would later play complicated characters on screen. He grew up in a regular working family, and Jack loved performing and telling stories from when he was really young, which made him want to become an actor when he got older. Getting into Hollywood wasn't fancy or easy for him. He started working as a helper at MGM's cartoon studio before slowly getting small acting jobs, and he had to struggle for many years before he became famous. Jack's career started in the late 1950s when he got tiny parts in cheap movies, usually made by a guy named Roger Corman. Even though these early jobs didn't make him famous right away, they let him learn how to act better, figure out his own style, and become tough in a business that wants you to keep trying more than being successful right away. His big break happened in 1969 with a movie called Easy Rider, where he played a drunk lawyer named George Hansen and got his first Oscar nomination. That role made him famous and started a bunch of amazing performances that would make him one of the best actors for the next 40 years. During the 1970s, Jack became known as a really powerful actor. His role in a movie called 5 Easy Pieces in 1970 showed how good he was at playing unhappy, complicated people who were struggling with who they were and feeling left out. In The Last Detail in 1973, he gave a rough, emotional performance that was both funny and really touching. His part as Randall McMurphy in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest in 1975 is still one of the greatest performances ever in movies, and it won him his first Academy Award for Best Actor. Jack's portrayal of McMurphy, a rebellious guy fighting against the mean Nurse Ratched, captured what the 1970s counterculture was all about and made him a cultural icon. The 1980s brought another famous role with Stanley Kubrick's scary horror movie The Shining in 1980. Jack's terrifying but fascinating portrayal of Jack Torrance, a writer going crazy, became something everyone remembers in pop culture. Lines like, "Here's Johnny," have been repeated for generations, proving how Jack could bring unforgettable energy to movies. In terms of endearment in 1983, he showed his softer side, winning another Academy Award for playing Garrett Breedlove, a charming retired astronaut. This ability to play both crazy and gentle characters with equal skill set him apart as one of the most versatile actors ever. The 1989 movie Batman, where Jack played the Joker, was another big moment. His bigger-than-life, scary but playful performance not only amazed audiences around the world, but also set the standard for comic book bad guys on screen. Jack's Joker was so good that it influenced many actors who played the role later. His ability to put charisma, scariness, and humor into one character showed once again how amazing his acting skills were. In the 1990s and early 2000s, Jack kept giving unforgettable performances. In A Few Good Men in 1992, his portrayal of Colonel Nathan R. Jessup gave movies one of its most famous lines, "You can't handle the truth." The intensity and authority he brought to the role showed his unmatched ability to dominate the screen. After showing his versatility in movies like Mars Attacks in 1996, the funny sci-fi comedy where Jack managed to both scare and amuse audiences, and Hoffa in 1992, where he really got into the role of the notorious labor leader Jimmy Hoffa, as well as other projects that highlighted his ability to bring complex, layered characters to life. Jack Nicholson entered what many critics call the golden stretch of his later career. In 1997, he amazed the world once again with his unforgettable performance in James L. Brooks's romantic comedy drama As Good as It Gets, starring opposite Helen Hunt. Jack played Melvin Udall, a mean, obsessive-compulsive novelist whose sharp wit and stubborn weird habits gradually give way to moments of tenderness. His detailed performance, balancing humor with vulnerability, not only captivated audiences but also won him an Academy Award for Best Actor, proving that even decades into his career, Jack was still able to reinvent himself and surprise the world. As the new millennium began, Jack continued to show his incredible range and staying power. In 2002, he took on the role of Warren Schmidt in About Schmidt, a sad comedy that saw him drop his trademark charm to portray a lonely, recently retired widower dealing with the emptiness of his later years. Critics praised the performance as one of the most understated and powerful of his career, showing that Jack could excel not only in flashy, bigger-than-life roles, but also in quiet, deeply human stories. Just a year later, in 2003, he reminded fans of his comedic genius when he teamed up with Adam Sandler in the box office hit Anger Management. Jack's portrayal of the unusual, wild-eyed therapist Dr. Buddy Rydell brought unpredictable energy to the film and left audiences laughing while reinforcing his reputation as an actor who could master any type of movie. But Jack wasn't finished yet. In 2006, he returned to the darker side of his repertoire, taking on the chilling role of Frank Costello, a ruthless Irish mob boss in Martin Scorsese's crime epic The Departed. Acting alongside Hollywood heavyweights Matt Damon and Leonardo DiCaprio, Jack stole scenes with his scary unpredictability, creating one of the most memorable villains of modern movies. His performance was so powerful and haunting that it earned him a Golden Globe nomination, reminding the industry once again why he stood among the greatest actors of all time. The very next year, Jack surprised audiences again, this time in a more heartwarming and thoughtful light. In 2007, he co-starred with Morgan Freeman in The Bucket List, a moving comedy drama about two terminally ill men who set out on a globe-trotting adventure to fulfill their life's dreams before dying. Jack's role as the wealthy but emotionally guarded Edward Cole allowed him to explore themes of death, friendship, and redemption, striking a balance between wit and deep emotion. The film became a cultural touchstone, inspiring millions with its message about living life to the fullest and further cemented Jack's legacy as an actor who could touch audiences across generations. Jack Nicholson's personal life has long fascinated the public almost as much as his legendary acting career. His first and only marriage was to actress Sandra Knight in 1962. At the time, Jack was a rising star in Hollywood, still building his career. While Knight was known for her appearances in films such as Frankenstein's Daughter in 1958, their marriage, though marked by youthful energy and Hollywood glamour, was not meant to last forever. After 6 years together, the couple decided to part ways, officially divorcing in 1968. Despite the end of their marriage, they shared a daughter, Jennifer Nicholson, born in 1963. Jennifer grew up largely away from the spotlight, but she eventually followed her own creative path, becoming a fashion designer. Jack always remained a supportive father, and even though his marriage to Sandra Knight ended, their bond through their daughter remained an important part of his life. After his divorce, Jack Nicholson never married again, but he became known for a series of high-profile and often dramatic relationships that kept him firmly in the spotlight. One of his early and well-documented romances was with actress Susan Anspach, whom he met in the early 1970s. Their relationship was complicated and passionate, reflecting Jack's free-spirited and unconventional lifestyle during that time. Although their romance eventually came to an end, Anspach later claimed that Jack was the father of her son, Caleb Goddard, born in 1970. Jack did not publicly acknowledge Caleb as his child, which led to years of speculation and tension, further adding to the mystery around his personal life. Perhaps Jack's most famous and long-lasting relationship was with actress Anjelica Huston, daughter of legendary director John Huston. Their romance began in 1973 and lasted on and off for nearly 17 years. During this time, they became one of Hollywood's most talked-about couples, admired for their charisma and talent, but also notorious for their stormy relationship. Huston often described Jack as magnetic, unpredictable, and endlessly charming, but also difficult to pin down. Their love affair weathered many ups and downs, but ultimately ended in heartbreak for Huston, when Jack's cheating became too much to endure. Still, even after their breakup, the two maintained mutual respect and a lasting affection for one another, and Houston has often spoken openly about how deeply Jack influenced her life. In the 1980s, Jack also had a relationship with Danish model Winnie Hallman. Their time together may not have been as publicly scrutinized as his romance with Houston, but it was significant in Jack's personal life because it resulted in the birth of a daughter, Honey Hallman. Honey grew up mostly outside of Hollywood, living in Denmark with her mother, away from the glitz and chaos of Jack's world. While Jack did not have a traditional family structure, he acknowledged his responsibility as a father and maintained a connection with Honey throughout her life. By 1989, Jack entered into another high-profile romance, this time with actress Rebecca Broussard. Their relationship marked a new chapter for him, as it was one of his longest and most committed partnerships. Jack and Broussard were together for 5 years, during which time they welcomed 2 children, a daughter Lorraine, born in 1990, and a son Raymond, born in 1992. Unlike some of his other relationships, Jack was very present as a father during this time, often photographed spending time with his young children. Lorraine eventually pursued a career in acting, appearing in films like Soul Surfer in 2011, while Raymond grew up to become an actor as well, continuing the family's creative legacy. Even after their romantic relationship ended in 1994, Jack and Broussard remained committed to raising their children together, which showed the maturity and affection that had existed between them. Later in the 1990s, Jack's name was romantically linked to actress Lara Flynn Boyle, who was then gaining fame from her role on Twin Peaks and other projects. Their relationship, though brief, got attention because of their noticeable age difference and Jack's reputation as a Hollywood playboy. Reports suggested that their romance was intense but short-lived, ending after only a few years. Still, it further cemented Jack's image as a man who, even well into middle age, continued to be linked to glamorous women and remained a captivating figure in Hollywood's social scene. At 88 years old, Jack Nicholson has reached a point in his life where he looks back on his career and friendships with a clarity that only age and thinking can bring. For decades, Jack was known as one of Hollywood's most mysterious figures, always witty, sharp, and unpredictable both on and off the screen. Yet, in a recent private conversation, he opened up about his late friend Robin Williams in a way he had rarely done before. His words carried the weight of both admiration and sadness, and for those who loved Williams, they offered a window into the deep respect one legend had for another. "Robin was like lightning in a bottle," Jack admitted, pausing before he spoke as though carefully choosing his words. "You never knew what direction he'd go in, but you always knew it would be brilliant." For Jack, who had built a career on intensity and razor-sharp performances, Williams represented a kind of artistic freedom that very few could master. Their paths crossed numerous times throughout their years in Hollywood, both socially and professionally, and Jack recalled how Williams's presence could change the entire energy of a room. "He could make a room full of people go from silence to tears of laughter in seconds," Jack said. "And I don't think the world will ever see that kind of raw magic again." Jack went further, admitting that Williams' humor was only one layer of who he was. "People saw Robin as this whirlwind of comedy, but he was one of the most thoughtful men I ever knew. He felt things deeply, maybe too deeply at times. That was both his gift and his burden." In saying this, Jack was pointing to the two-sided nature that defined Williams, his unmatched ability to give joy to others while privately struggling with his own battles. Jack confessed that he often saw in Williams a sensitivity that others overlooked. "There was a tenderness in him," Jack explained, "and you could see it in his eyes, even when he was making you laugh until your stomach hurt." The two actors were different in many ways. Jack with his iconic grin and often scary screen presence, and Williams with his boundless energy and improvisational genius. Yet they shared a bond built on mutual respect. Jack revealed that whenever they spent time together, there was always laughter, but there was also sincerity. He'd sit down with you, look you straight in the eye, and listen. "Robin really listened, and that's a rare quality in this business," Jack said softly. He didn't care about the Hollywood games. He cared about people. Jack also addressed the pain of losing Williams in 2014, a loss that shook Hollywood and fans around the globe. When Robin left us, it was like a light went out in the world, Jack reflected, his voice heavy with emotion. I remember hearing the news and just sitting there not quite believing it. It felt impossible that someone who gave so much life could be gone. He admitted that Williams's passing reminded him of how fragile even the brightest spirits can be. We think these people are larger than life, but they're human, just like the rest of us. And sometimes being human is the hardest thing. Jack concluded his thoughts with words that revealed how much Williams had meant to him personally. Robin had this generosity of spirit. He gave everything he had every time, whether it was on stage, in a movie, or just talking to a friend. That's what I'll always carry with me. He wasn't just funny. He was extraordinary. For Jack, speaking so openly about his friend was a way of honoring a man whose talent and humanity left a lasting mark not only on audiences, but also on his peers. As Jack Nicholson sits in the twilight of his own remarkable life and career, his memories of Robin Williams remain vivid, a reminder of the rare connection two Hollywood giants shared. And in finally telling the truth about his friend, Jack allowed the world to see not only the depth of Williams' artistry, but also the profound impact he had on those who truly knew him.